Card Fighters. We are Team Deus. My name is Brandon. Behind the camera we got Ethan.
What's up, guys?
And today, as promised, we are bringing you Overlord. Only 3 sets late. Almost 4. By the time we release this, standard will have started. So, yeah, so let's get straight into it with the starter. It's Conroe. There's not much else to say, it's Conroe. It is the best cargo starter. There was a reason it was banned for many years. It was too good. Counterblast 1 and retire him, and you get any grade 1 in your deck. Stride fodder, no. If you have a resource card. Good card. Too good not to play. Also, it's the shiny one from BT1. Moving on to grade 3s. For Destiny. Don't say it. This card is just great, to the point where, coupled with some Overlord hype, this thing kicked Battle Sisters, it kicked Blasters, kicked all of them out of the meta completely. And as a Blaster player, I felt it. It was bad. Yeah. For Soul Blast, when he's placed or at the beginning of your ride phase, you can choose any circle other than the Vanguard circle and put all cards into the drop zone. So if you are being locked up by Chaos, you can clear one of your front row circles and kind of save some face. It's not as easy as we would like it to be, but still, it's still something. Otherwise, you can just use it to retire an opponent's field. And then on stride, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it. Then you can look at the top 7 cards, reveal up to 1 Overlord from amongst them, put into your hand. The search is not dependent on the retire, so if your opponent has nothing, you can still counterblast, retire nothing, search 7. Next, the backup grade 3. Legend. What? Not cross end? No. I don't like cross end. It is super slow. Generally, the ratio people play is like 3 and 2. So, generally with one on the Vanguard circle, you're not going to get the other piece. And I know you can search one of them when you do it, but the only reason you go into it normally is because you failed Drachma. If you're preparing to fail Drachma, I said it in the ZR discussion, if you're preparing to fail Drachma, you don't have much faith in Drachma. This card, it's an alright backup grade 3. To be honest, the best thing about it is when you place it, you get to search a Flame Dragon. You can counterblast Soul Blast to search the top 5 for a Flame Dragon. Maybe hit that null. So, and he can be a grade 4 on his own, so if you want to use some of the new grade 2 support, he does have Overlord in his original card name, so they will get their power. Speaking of, grade 2s, 4 copies of Emperor Dragon Knight Nihalem. Yeah, whenever your grade 4 Overlord swings, just grade 4 or greater Vanguard swings, he gets 5k. And if you happen to be a Vanguard with Overlord, he gets 2k as well. So he is stronger. Just realized in the video we made, my Nihalem swing was 2k weak, because I didn't give him power. 4 Glow Heater, 10k base, and all it costs you is revealing to your opponent that you have an Overlord grade 3 in your hand, or that you are an Overlord on the field. It's almost no cost at all. But he's got this great second skill where continuous. If you have a grade 4 Overlord that's an Overlord in its original card name, so sorry Ziegenberg, this card gets 2k for each card in your opponent's damage zone. So powerhouse, 20k if they're on 5 damage, which they most likely are. 3 Burning Horn Evolute, or Evolute. Yeah. So you can Soul Blast and choose a card with Overlord from your hand and reveal it when he's placed. And you can choose an opponent's rear guard in the same column and get rid of it. And it's the same skill as this one. If you've got an original Overlord grade 4, he gains 2k for each card in the damage zone. So all the grade 2s are just there to power up and be threatening to the opponent on their own. Grade 1s for Protect Orb, as much as I hate to admit it, there is some counter loss issue sometimes. So getting these back, using these to get counter blast back is nice. And I do love Dumb Jin, but this is just more important in this deck. Dumb Jin. For Conroe, I make this mistake every game. I mistake him and the Stride Fodder. He has the Stride Fodder skill for Overlord. So you can, when he's placed, you can reveal a grade 3, search an Overlord, then discard a card. But I keep getting him mixed up with what's his face, Lava Flair. So this one lets you search Overlord. He also has the skill Act. Is it retire him? Yeah, retire him. Choose one of your Vanguards with Overlord in its card name, and it gets when this unit attacks countercharge 2. There are a couple restanding Vanguards in this deck, which means that you can countercharge 4. So he's a very cool card. 4 Doombringer High Flame. He's got 2 skills. When he's placed, you can return 2 Overlords in the drop zone to, is it the bottom of your deck? Or just to your deck, shuffle your deck, and if you return 2 cards, draw. So you can return 1, but you don't get to draw. And then he's got the skill retire this unit. At the beginning of your ride phase, you can retire him. If you do, until the end of turn, you can stride without paying the cost for stride as long as you're striding into an Overlord G unit. So, yeah. Really cool. You can drop him on board and then effectively use him for stride, which means you don't have to throw away Overlord cards. 2 Lava Flow. I mess him up every single time. He's got the search for Blade Master. I don't play any Blade Master. But the thing that's important is he counts as a grade 3 in hand, so we can stride with him. Triggers. This lineup's going to look pretty familiar if you watched our Blade Master video. For Terra, it's the clone heal that everyone got, well, almost everyone got. A few clans missed out. You bind it, you countercharge. You bind 2 of them, you countercharge, or you bind 2 of them, you soul charge after you G-guard. So,
however, good news is, if you missed out, they are printing them out in standard for the clans that don't have them yet.
Yes.
They did reveal that in one of their information podcasting.
Did, but the way to get it was a Japanese only thing, so we're not sure how the English are going to get them, if they're going to be box toppers or not.
But we will get them.
Eventually.
For,
what is that, Fire Chase Dragon? Yeah. Retire him. When another unit's retired, you can retire this card to retire the other unit in this column. And for those of you who are keeping track, I said retire like 4 times in that sentence. 2 more generic crits. I like this one because it's G and it's adorable. 2 Inspire Yell. It's got Blaze. If this thing didn't have Blaze, it'd be garbage, but the fact that it has Blaze, it's got the skill that GB1, you can put it on the bottom of your deck. If your Vanguard becomes blazing, you may pay the cost if you draw a card. Choose a unit that gets 5k until the end of turn, shuffle your deck. So if you've got a restanding Vanguard that's an extra card out of hand, or a stronger or a more powerful Guardian out of hand, and if it's a restander, that's twice. So it's a really good card, and it replaces itself, so it's not a neg. So yeah, 2. I would rather be playing this than 2 more generic crits. 3 Seal Dragon Archpek. Yeah, it's just Margol's clone. 1 Gatling Claw. As we said in the Blade Master video, you don't use this after about turn 2 if you are your opponent's in a pretty desperate situation. Yeah, you can search it with Conroe if you're absolutely desperate, but yeah, I see no reason to play any more than 1. G-Zone. 3 copies of Big Boy, The Purge. This card is just good. Once per turn, you can flip a card, and you can take an Overlord from your hand and put it into your soul. If the number of cards in your opponent's damage zone is 4 or less, you choose an opponent's Vanguard, deal a damage, and negate the trigger. And then GB3, this unit has the same number of drive checks as the number of cards in your opponent's damage zone. So there at 5, he's got Quinn Drive. Not much to say. You're going to stride this a lot. Don't mix my piles up. 3 Ziegenberg, the Restander. Flair arms. He's got a few skills. He's got Blaze, so that's a thing. He's also got the skill to Soul Blast and choose a face down card with the same name as this guy and turn it face up, and then you can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. But the main skill is GB3, Counterblast 1, choose the same number of cards in your hands that your opponent has rear guards, discard them at the end of the battle that this unit attacked. If this unit is blazing, you may pay the cost. If you do, standard, it gets drive -2. So if they've got nothing, discard nothing. So it's almost a free restand. It does cost a counterblast, but yeah. Generally, you're not going to use that flip skill, so I might use it once and then get to use the second one. That's why I only play 3. 2 Ace, another restander. I don't play the third because I don't. Counterblast 4 for 3 attacks is wasteful.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's like playing 3 Victor Plasma for the same reason. You just don't do it.
Yeah, so Counterblast 2, flip himself, same number of cards. If the number of cards face up is 2, he gets drive -1, and you can choose a card from your hand and discard it. Choose a card with Overlord in your hand. Choose a card with Overlord in its card name from your hand and discard it. At the end of the battle he attacked, you can stand it, and he gets 5k. So, yeah, Counterblast 4 for a restander. For 2, sorry, for a double restander. Not great. I play what is this thing, Ascendgrave? Just the best first stride for Kagura now. Counterblast 1, choose anything, flip it up, and he gets auto when he attacks, retire, and draw a card. But he has to be blazing, but let's be honest, it's Kagura, you're pretty much always going to be blazing. I play the G8. On the off chance you get to this end game, this card is busted. It gets, what, 10k? For
Nukes the board.
It nukes the board. All the rear guards get 10k, and then he gets 10k in a crit. It's a good card. To go off that, I do play the Drachma. There are games where it happens. It does happen. And I admit that. And he's a good card. He's just the worst of the Zeroth Dragons. But I do play him more often than not, though he is a flip target, which does drive some people crazy. G-Guardians. Play Defeat Flair, because you're Overlord. Take advantage of the G-Guard. Was it Counterblast 1? Choose 2 grade 3 or greater Flame Dragons from your drip zone, put them on the bottom of your deck, and then burn the back row. Yeah, cool. 2 Denial Griffin, because Denial Griffin. Is there a reason? Counterblast 1, retire the units that's attacking. Oh, that thing has 60k and a crit? It's gone. There are a few cards that have resist that kind of go, but yeah, this was the card I was saltiest about when I found out about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally I play 2 Absalam. Counterblast 1 against 10k for each of your opponent's open rearguard circles. It's pretty cool. So, that is the entirety of my Overlord deck. And I will say thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Peace out.